Okay, so yeah, that was definitely the craziest and wildest synchronicities that I've ever experienced. Well, I want to ask you the same, but I want to like lead it into something different. Have you ever ignored your intuition and regretted it with these kind of synchronicities that come up? And if you have an example of that.
Um, not not with synchronicities. I would say there's been a plethora of times where I did not listen to my intuition.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, like I'll get a gut feeling about something, or I'll kind of see something's off, sense something, see how something's gonna go. I'm just gonna see how this plays out instead. It's fine, and it usually does what it was warning me to, and I'll always catch it like, okay, yeah, I definitely definitely heard the voice telling me to not do this, and I did it anyways. But in relation to synchronicity, not really, just because I believe in it so much that like if something catches my eye, like certain type of bird, that one day that I just found a feather sticking straight up out of the grass and it was in the shape of a Y. It catches my attention and I have to look into it and I'm like like the universe is obviously telling me something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with that guide. And then just involuntarily when you look up signs and like fully dive into meanings of stuff, it changes your perspective anyways. So it already kind of shifts you before you actually like make that decision.
Why do you think that we separate our own intuition from this source, you know, synchronicity intuition? Like we want to listen to that, right? Oh, the universe gave us a sign. We got to listen to that one. But then we give ourselves that same talk internally and we're like, nah.
We don't need to listen to that. We don't know who this guy is.
I don't know about it. Whatever. I'll leave it. Like what? I guess that stems from not.
I think just going back to the imposter syndrome
Yeah.
stuff. And I think just like the lessons that we have to learn over time, we probably internalize it as like we don't know what we're doing.
Yes. I mean, we've been told that since childhood. You know, it's like stop. Yeah. You don't know anything. You're just a child.
Right.
Listen to the adults. We know best. Like, actually, do we? I don't know. Do they? I don't know.
At this point, I realized we're all just faking it.
Yes.
Everybody's just faking it.
1,000%. No one knows what we're doing. We're just on the ride. We're here to have a good time. Try to have a good time. Wow. So, yeah. Okay. Just, I guess that's then our universal sign to pay attention to our own intuition more then. So we've already really talked about some of this stuff, but I do want to tap into dreams. So I know we look to tarot cards and meditation and astrology for all of these answers to these deep questions that our spirit has. But dreams have really become super important for me, especially after I quit smoking weed. My dreams became so much more vivid. I started remembering them. And for the last few months, like half a year now, I have been religiously writing them down every morning as soon as I can. The only times I can't remember them is when an alarm clock wakes me up abruptly and then I just kind of get thrown into the chaos of the real world again. And the lapse of memory is there. But I have really had some prophetic dreams in the past where I have literally been psychic about situations that have happened in real life. And sometimes the dreams feel, not necessarily important, kind of like we're just meandering throughout the dream world. We're having these experiences and whatnot, but they're not super important. And at other times they feel so prophetic and so important. Like this is a lesson. This is a teacher in a sense to guide you into doing something. Like, how do you feel about that? Have you experienced these same things with dreams?
I have. I used to dream like a lot throughout like my childhood and early adulthood. kind of went away, but also same. Once I cut back on smoking, I've been able to remember my dreams and stuff a lot more. I weirdly though, a lot of my dreams are definitely, if I remember them, it's something that I'm working through like subconsciously and internally. I've only had 2 dreams that had some like real life prophecy element to them. But yeah, but just overall, I do think that, especially if you can remember dreams in specific details, all of those things are incredibly important.
Definitely.
Because like your subconscious and your aura picks up on things before you do. So it's just filtering all of that while you're sleeping.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I think we are experiencing our lives on different planes or different timelines, and then we're jumping back to this one.
I will say I've definitely had like another dimension dream.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I was gifted a rose quartz.
ooh.
Yeah.
One time I went to like a school similar to Hogwarts, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know, is your name on the admission list?" And then I looked, I was like, are you sure this is my name? And then it just magically appeared, and I was like, oh, they're like, oh, you are here. Look, this is your class schedule. I'm like, thank you, okay. And I'm walking around this school. I have no idea where I'm going. You know that feeling like you're like, oh, gotta get to class, but I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I gotta be, what I'm doing. But I know I'm supposed to be here. And in the dream world, everybody just thinks like, you know, you've already been there. You're good.
You can't let them know.
No. But yeah, fighting off demons and dragons and things, and befriending the dragons. I'm not one for slaying them.
Heard that.
Right?
Heard that.
So yeah, I think we definitely learn from our dream realm, and I'm eager to keep exploring that, as well as all of these other modalities of psychic, intuitive divinations. Yeah. Okay, so playing into that, shadow work, right? Like seeking out our truth deep within. So, what shadow trait of yours did you have to learn to love and also then recognize that it's a superpower?
I would say my detachment style.
Okay, interesting. Explain.
Yeah. Like, I realized just growing up military, I lived with like every family member on both sides of my family.
Okay.
And it was like every year, and sometimes a few times within a year, I'm getting pulled out of the school, put in the school, pulled out of the school. So like I never maintained friends growing up through my childhood. So there was just a lot of lack of like relationship maintenance skills. But and like I'll say the shadow part of that I realized was a problem is that I would allow myself to dive too much into isolation.
Yes.
Or like if something would happen, instead of me being confrontational and like dealing with it, I'm just like, oh, cut off.
Yeah,
And
I'm good. I can just leave. I know that's easy.
Yeah. So definitely was something that I had to realize and work on. But it is a superpower because I don't get attached easily.
Yeah.
Like I attached to jobs, attached to people, attached to relationships. If there's something that's telling me I need to go a separate way, I don't have that like familiarity pool.
That's huge. Because I'm the opposite. You know, I deal with codependency issues from traumas with my parents. My dad, you know, being absent and our moms leaving us early, you know, and I was always being watched by my godmother or my grandmother. And so, yeah, this fear that everybody's always just going to leave made me want to hold on. So I envy that in you, or I should say I'm inspired by you, that you can face that fear so easily and do it in a manner that becomes your superpower.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, you do it in a beautiful way now because you've learned that lesson that I can't use it as a toxic trait and
Right.
just cut off so easily.
Like, I have to have the hard talks.
Yes.
You have to work through those
how
things.
do you get through it respectfully and to do it in accordance with everybody's emotions and thoughts?
Yeah.
You know.
But in the same breath, I'm okay with burning a bridge.
If it needs to be done,
It hurt.
light it up. Okay. I feel that, girl. Okay, so, Okay, going into that note, since we both experienced this throughout our careers and our industry that we work in, you know, it's the aerial arts industry professional performers, especially down here in South Florida. I don't know where all you guys live, but it's a hard, cutthroat industry.
Very.
And sometimes you do have to deal with a lot of toxicities and like cut people off and or know where to stand up for yourselves and to honor your worth. So how do you remain spiritual in the work that you do, especially like living in a world that just is so, you know, ruled by this burnout society of like, go, 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 just deal with it, kind of shut up, and this is what it is. So how do you pull spirituality and growth into the world that we live in as far as it comes to our careers?
As far as it comes to our careers, definitely just keeping up with a personal practice at home. Like, just keeps the grounding for having to go out and work and be in the real world. But definitely just facing everything with always being a student.
Yes.
Always learning, take everything as a lesson, be it negative or good. And then like also like appreciate the little things. So like on your way to work, just like, oh, a squirrel's in that tree, like so cute.
Tap back
Yeah,
into that like inner child.
Yeah, inner child, like finding little whimsical things that like make, like at least for me, it makes me happy. But definitely I would say the biggest thing is just always being a student. Like I don't mind criticism.
Yeah.
Don't mind it at all.
Life is not
because
that serious.
It's
like,
not.
And when we step into this adulthood of career, it feels very dense and heavy and serious. Like you always need to maintain that. But you're right. I feel like you do need this sense of inner child and playfulness and joy to also balance that out.
Yeah.
Like there's a time for seriousness, and then there's also a time to bring in joy and happiness to these
Absolutely.
experiences too. So the dense aspects don't weigh us down.
And if it's that bad, leave.
Bam, right there. We said it.
If it's
We said
that
it,
bad,
people.
leave.
We said it. Ah. Okay, so did you feel called to the work that you do, or did you choose it? Like, did something in your life just like pull you into this, or you were like from a young age, no, this is what I want to do. I have always known this.
No, it was definitely pulled
Okay.
into it. It was like a snowball effect down a hill. Just because, like, as a kid, like, I didn't do gymnastics for long, and I think I took, like, one dance class. But since my parents' choice of physical punishment for me was to do military training.
Oh, gosh. Well, thanks, Mom.
So just being super active as a kid, I was always doing handstands around the house,
Cool.
like cartwheels, front flips, back bends, pulling myself up. And getting into sports and stuff, just keeping up with random flips and doing all of these things. And I would just find a lot of, coming out of high school and getting into like my mid-20s, I found a lot of happiness anytime I got to do anything physical. So having that as a background and then going through cosmetology and realizing, ooh, I like all like the glittery makeup stuff. Like, oh, I like doing hair this way. It's super cool. Then leading into like starting pole dancing, that was where I got my confidence and everything. It was like, okay, this is nice. And then just after getting into dancing and finding out that you could even do aerial arts as a thing, I was like, oh, glitter, I get to move my body. And I get to be surrounded by strong women. This is fantastic.
Like, and I get a pretty costume.
And I get a
Sign
pretty
me
costume.
up.
Yes. Get to do all the tricks that I've always wanted to do. Did I get paid for it? Yes. Yes, we love that. Yeah, I've never, because like I've made jokes like, oh, I'd run away to a circus. Like
I did too
made
when I
jokes-
was younger, and I had never
Yeah.
really thought that I would. But
Yeah, got
Here we
here. I was
are.
like,
We did.
it's true. So anybody knows you can run away to a circus.
if you want to, it is an option. Okay, we just listen. We are proof. Hit me up, Inverted Elements.
But how about for you? Is this something that you've always known you wanted to get into?
I think it's 50-50. From a young age, so 5 years old, I started dance. So I loved moving, all the movement stuff. I did all of the dance classes. My mom put me in tap, jazz, ballet. I didn't love it so much back then because it was too like structured and organized, and I wanted more just like free flow,
Right.
chaos, whatever. I'm sure I probably would have been good at more of like a lyrical contemporary class back then. But and then some gymnastics, I did baton, the ribbons, and fun, so I was definitely introduced to it at a very young age, and I had fun doing it. But then things switched over pretty quickly because at the same time, 5 years old, I was also into soccer, and then getting into middle school, high school teams. I was invited onto the travel teams and the school teams and the city teams. So my mom was like, you've got to choose. Like, we only have so much time in the day. So soccer became my main passion. And that made me like a strong badass. So I was goalie. So I didn't care about getting kicked in the face. And everybody, I was kind of the underdog. People, I'm short. So people were like, oh, she can't be that good of a goalie. But I was like killer goalie. And then at the same time, if I wasn't in goal, I was scoring the goals in offense. So that, brought a lot of confidence in as well to this whole thing. I later on in life, so in college, I got a scholarship, but I decided not to take it because I followed a boy to a different college because us women, I don't know what's up with us. Anywho, of course, that didn't last long. Didn't take that scholarship up. I ended up hurting my ankle playing soccer on concrete just for fun with some friends after school. And then I had taken some health classes, some gym classes in college, and I needed some extra credit classes. So they're like, oh, just take a yoga class. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, that'll give me the extra 2 credits that I need. I was reminded that I also love other movement aspects, other movement modalities. So I was inspired in this yoga class, and then I started taking yoga. I remember the first time I ever went to yoga class, I was 13. My friend was talking about going with her mom, and I asked my mom if she wanted to go or take me, and she's like, no, but I'll drop you off. And it was so funny because when I got back in the car, when she picked me up, I was like so zen, and she was on a conference call, and she was cursing out somebody on this work call, and I was like, Mom, stop, you're ruining my vibe. And she looked at me like, what? I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to call you back. Okay, so obviously you enjoyed yourself, girl. What? So yeah, later on I found it again in college and fell in love, and then I thought, wow, this is a great thing that I can do to make some side money. So I took a certification course while I was in college, and then I started teaching yoga on the side. One of my friends was a dance instructor at a different studio. They also needed yoga there. So she said, come apply. I became that dance studio's yoga teacher. They were really cool alternative fitness studio. They offered pole dancing, regular dance, yoga, aerial yoga.
Love that.
So yeah, one of the days she's like, hey, I can't teach my pole dancing class. It's a beginner. You'll be fine. You got to substitute it for me. And I wasn't certified yet. And I was like, what? And she's like, come on, you take my class all the time. You're going to be fine. It's great. She threw me in there. But of course I loved it. And then later on, getting all my certifications, I just kept delving into more and more different modalities. So I was like, wow, okay, now there's the aerial sling, and then there's the aerial silks, and then there's the lyra hoop, and just learning that there's so many movement methods, and I just fell in love. So yeah, then I thought, wow, this is a great way for it to become an extra money source for me. I didn't think at all that it was going to be like the end all be all. I just thought that I'm in college right now to become an art therapist, and you can make some side money teaching all of these fitness classes that'll like keep me in shape, right? If not, I would have been lazy. So yeah, I started getting certified in all these different things, and then there's student showcases, there's competitions, aerial and pole competitions, and I started joining those, and I was just so inspired, and I was so moved, and I realized that I'm strong and I'm powerful and I'm so much more capable than I ever thought I was, and I was getting third place, second place, first places, and I was like, okay, wow, this is something that I can really take seriously. And then people were reaching out to me for gig work, and that was a whole other door that opened up, like, wow, you can actually get hired to do this professionally and perform for people at their private parties. And then I took it to the next level, and I said, wow, I can go into venues and offer this to clubs and adult entertainment venues, and it just kind of spiraled. And now I have my own, entertainment company, Inverted Elements, shout out. And I'm hiring amazing, inspirational performers within the community, and we're all just kicking ass, doing our thing, doing what we love, sharing our passions with the world. So yeah, I had no idea that it was going to bring me to this, but
to building your empire.
Yeah, I am so grateful for all of the little steps in between.
I love for you.
Okay. Oh, we're back to relationships.
Oh, God.
Oh, goodness. Okay, relationships. They are spiritual teachers, though.
They are. Unfortunately, they are.
Yeah, like I said, you got to go through it, right? Whew. Well, obviously, I think we already know this is rhetorical, but do you believe that people come into our lives for spiritual reasons? And within these relationships, what have you learned about yourself?
Yeah. And just in all relationships, be it romantic or platonic. I think every person is brought to mirror an aspect of you in that moment. Mm-hmm. So as far as like friends have gone, they've just taught me more so a lot about life and like external factors, seeing things from other people's perspectives, like different aspects of the world that maybe I'm not going through, but like they're going through, or just somebody that they know or that they've heard from. Whatever, it's just more of as an external like eye opener. Romantic relationships more of an internal eye opener. But yeah, any romantic relationship I've had has definitely taught me like what I for myself like and dislike, what I tolerate, what I'm not gonna tolerate.
Yes.
Things that like if I'm going to walk my path alongside somebody else, there needs to be a match somewhere.
That's huge.
Yeah. And because before I kept attracting the same people.
Yes.
And eventually it was like, oh, no, that's because you're not
learning the lesson.
Yeah.
We just needed to go through it 18 times.
Yeah, it's fine.
Was it though? I don't know.
We got here.
That's just 18 times in this lifetime. So I don't know about the other reincarnations.
But yeah. But it definitely just got me to a point where now I have a baseline.
Good.
Like I have a baseline.
You know your worth.
I know my worth. I know what I'm going to accept from a partner. And I'm chilling. Like, I'm chilling on my own with my cats until like somebody hits that
Enya vibe. We just need a castle. We're good. I'm here for it. Yeah, I feel the same. Especially, like, I want to touch on friendships. I've learned a lot over the years from Lovers 1000. Like, they've been some of the most influential relationships that have helped in my growth. But most recently, I've really been recognizing how important it is to stand your ground in your self-respect within your friendships.
Yes.
Because so often previously, I think of myself as a kind, overgiving person, and I want to see the good in everybody. So I've just gravitated towards everybody. You're right. Like, we're all mirrors of each other. So things that have not been fully healed within myself is what I'm seeing within other people that we then attract again. And these things are being projected at each other. So it's so important to stay conscious of that and to recognize that some people are here for the season, right? And not permanently forever. There's a reason for the season. One of my friends told me that. It's always stuck with me. You have to recognize when some people are not also climbing this ladder with you, then they're going to slow down your growth in that evolutionary process. So it has been difficult for me on a friendship level to realize I might need to put some of these people aside. We're not ascending at the same level. And not that you have to. I have so many different, I've always taken pride in myself to have a lot of different friends in different categories and to know how to balance and stay in alignment with myself within all of these different groups, especially being a sober person and having friends who do like to party and go out and things, but then we can still always find common ground. But as far as on a spiritual path, like, it's so important to me that my friend group now remains positive, healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally, that they know their worth, that they aren't putting themselves down, because then that, again, whether they like it or not, or whether they purposely were conscious of it or not, it reflects back on us, and it does, that energy is shared within the room.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Facts. So that has been a huge awakening that I've come into recently as far as friend group. But yeah, relationships, the biggest life lessons that I've had in my life, really, especially some of the really dark, abusive ones. I am such a confident, strong-willed, independent woman, and it's crazy to think and look back onto what I accepted and dealt with for so long, because that's just not who I was. I guess it's what I accepted back then, but it's not who I wanted to be. And now finally stepping into that power and saying, I will never accept that again. This is my standards.
Right.
This is my level now. If you're not here, if you can't meet me here, then I don't want it. And and that keeps growing. As I've looked back at all of the exes, I'm like, wow.
It keeps pushing up. Yep.
We're leveling up, girl. I'm liking this for us. Yes. So, because back then, when I was still, dealing with some dark stuff, I feel like sometimes we'd climb, we would fall right back down. We'd climb, we'd fall right back down. But no, now I feel this true, steady progression, and I'm really proud of that. I feel like we're definitely similar in that sense, that we've been on that path of growth. Okay, you want to take over?
Hell yeah. Ooh, so I would like to go back a little bit to what shadow trait actually became your superpower?
Oh, shadow trait that became my superpower. Let's think about this one. Okay. To play into that relationship stuff, I think one of the biggest lessons that I've had to learn is how to overcome the codependency of dealing with a father that had a lot of addictions, and he was in and out of prison throughout my life. And my mom also dealt with a lot of addictions, even though they were on two different spectrums. Like, he, in the sense, is a true addict, has been homeless, and has dealt with a lot of the serious hardships. And then my mother, who was very independent and always held a steady job, but kind of got sucked into that American dream of being overworked and doing this 9 to 5, getting burdened and drinking and self-medicating and going to therapy and getting prescribed all of these different drugs, and just fell into that, like, you know, different realms of addiction, but the same. So to not have parents that were fully present really created this density within the self-love realm and the self-worth realm. So yeah, to overcome this codependency issue was real, because I was always seeking validation from them, love from them, when it's hard when they couldn't love themselves. They were still so lost on their own journeys. And there's no like perfect manual of how to be the best parent. I'm sure there's a lot of handbooks out there, but we all know, I'm not a parent, but I have a few furry children, and I'm still constantly learning on a daily basis. So yeah, I think the superpower that came from that is it made me such a forgiving person. So I see how hard it was for them, and it could have made me so angry, but it gave me that empathy.
Yeah.
You know, it really allowed me to see these different perspectives of how everybody goes through different things within their life and how they handle them, and then how that's presented to you on an individual level, and then how are you going to rise to meet that experience? And are you going to play into that self-victimhood, or are you going to say, no, I'm better than this. I'm not going to go down that same route because I saw what it does, and that's not what I'm going to choose. So yeah, that's been huge, from, you know, childhood lessons with my parents, and then into relationships whenever a lover decides to leave or things just, you know, go sour. I have constantly been battling this lesson of codependency, but also self-love and respect. And I really think that superpower that came out of it is gratitude and selflessness and forgiveness.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Have you ever felt spiritually guided in a career decision?
1000%. I'd say I'll bring it up. I'll speak of the elephant in the room. How we met was at one of the nightclubs down here in South Florida. And we both felt that as many fun, exciting memories and experiences that we had, and lessons learned, and growth that came from this job, we also knew that we were undervalued, disrespected, and the life lesson there was just eventually so big that it was hard to ignore.
Yeah.
Right? I immediately knew, okay, this is something that has to give. Like, I can't just keep being okay with this.
Yeah.
I can't just sweep this under the rug anymore. There's no weighing out the pros and the cons, and like, the pros aren't there. The cons are overweighing it. So yeah, and then that was another thing that psychic with my whole trip to the UK last year, where he also mentioned, you know, you're at these jobs, and he mentioned multiple jobs, and he's like, you've got to quit them, you've got to leave, you're in a really toxic environment. And I didn't tell it. I'm very, you know, especially being a psychic myself, and with all these different divination practices, I don't mention anything when I go in for a psychic reading. I see what they have to offer me. So I knew in the forefront of my mind what he was talking about. Like, okay, yes, at this particular club, I've got to get out of there. This isn't healthy for me anymore. So I was like, 100%, yes, you're right. I do need to leave this club. And that was the first time somebody had like directly said it to me, like, you're at an unhealthy environment. Like, you got to go. What are you doing here? Money doesn't matter. You'll make money again. And he even warned me. He's like, you're not going to make money for a little bit, but you will eventually make more money.
Yeah.
So that was a little scary. But then he said, no, you're on another job too, and you need to leave that one. And that was my teaching career. That was, I was at a few different studios, and I was teaching, going throughout the Tri-County area, teaching all of these different aerial arts and fitness classes. And I thought, but why would I leave that? That has brought me so much joy and fulfillment, and I love being there for my students, and it's been such a learning experience for myself too, because every class I teach, I learn something new from my students on a human-to-human level or on an apparatus level and the skill set level. But then it finally clicked for me months later, because I just kind of took that with a grain of salt and thought maybe he's talking more so about the club. But then later on, I realized no, wow, this job is stifling me too, because it's keeping me grounded, thinking that that's my level, that I can't excel past that and teach even on a broader spectrum, that I can't teach online, or not that I didn't think that I couldn't before. It's just I was busy.
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed and consumed.
It took up a lot of your time and energy. It took up a lot of
my time and energy, exactly. So eventually, so the universe pushes you out, whether you're ready for it or not.
Yep.
That studio, my main studio, the owner decided to sell. She sold it to a different woman. Everything changed, all the different dynamics and pay structures and everything. So it just wasn't working for me anymore, and I could have stayed, but that was my cue from the universe, another synchronicity, where I was like, no, this is what he was talking about. I've got to go. And I know this is crazy because I love teaching and I will always teach, but This is my time to come back into me. And so then I started taking more certification courses, and I started really diving in deeper to build my business and to say, I'm a director and coordinating entertainments for all of these different venues, and I need to start to teach these girls and build a team, and that's where I now need to put in my time and energy. So all of these things happen for a reason. I'm so blessed and happy that the universe guided me into this path. Yeah, it's been a fun journey.
Well, on this fun journey, you got guided into doing your tarot readings, all of your love readings. So, based off of the readings that you do, have you experienced a soul connection, twin flame, or karmic lesson?
Yes. All of the above, all three. So, for my viewers, maybe some of you guys don't know, so I like to go in depth for this and explain it a little bit more. This is my personal opinion. I'm sure that there's other opinions out there, but this is what I truly believe. That you can have a soulmate connection with many different people in this lifetime. And they could be of the same sex, different sexes. They could even be in an animal. I have literally had animals where I thought, wow, I've known this creature before, this soul. You have just taught me so many lessons that I needed and helped on my path of growth and love and compassion and caring for somebody else. That, when you just know on a soul level connection that your souls have known each other before, and if not known each other before, that you were meant to magnetically be drawn together to learn these life lessons. So those are the more beautiful, happy, joyous connections. And sometimes it's sad when those leave, whether the animal dies or our mothers pass away.
Right.
But or it could happen with a relationship where it just, the timing isn't right anymore, and that somebody decides that, or both parties decide that this needs to go in different directions. It's still a beautiful energy that disperses in a balanced manner. And even if it seemed chaotic in the moment, like later on we see these lessons, like we were speaking about our moms, or we knew that we were strong enough to handle it later on. On a karmic level, these karmic soulmates, they are the heavier ones. Like, these are my toxic exes. Like, the dense, heavy, just disgustingly bullshit that we dealt
All the
with.
lessons learned.
Yeah, those are the heavy ones. And again, lessons needed to be learned. It's not like you can just skip over the karmic ones, but those are the karmic lessons. And if you do believe in reincarnation, maybe we did wrong to other people in the past, whether it was those same souls or other souls. And now this karmic balance, this debt is being paid. And we need to also go through these harder lessons, these dark nights of the soul, where you had to be pushed that low in order to recognize how high you need to rise and to see your real worth. And my favorite is a twin flame. So there's also false twin flames and a real twin flame. And I just had recently learned this, that you almost always end up meeting your false twin flame first. So you're going to see so many signs and synchronicities that, like, oh, we're so connected. I see a mirrored image of myself within this person. Even though we're opposites, we're so similar. And especially with my ex, like, a lot of people said, oh, you guys almost look like you're related, like brother, sister, like very same features and hair color, eye colors. And we were both artistic people, creatives. But, you know, not to say that I'm perfect. It's just, I do believe that I was on this higher level within my spiritual growth than he was. And that density, again, drags you down. So I had to go through that to realize, wait a second, all of my dreams and my wishes of that person really being my twin flame have to crash down. Like, you have to learn that detachment to say, wow, this is my worth, actually.
Yeah.
Because if that is your twin flame, like, what the hell is this then? That's not fun. If that's like our soulmate twin flame and they are treating you like dog shit, no, guys, that's not it.
And that's when the realization clicks in of like, oh, okay, I deserve better.
I deserve 10,000 times better. Yeah, so then once you come into these realizations through Dark Nights of the Souls, you then are at this elevated frequency level. And you are on this path where you can actually meet somebody of this higher vibration and guys come together. But it's still a twin flame journey. So you guys are still going to trigger one another. You're still going to project and mirror what it is that you still need to work on, and a sense of healing. So it's tough. You know, there's the whole spiritual journey of a twin flame connection is the runner and the chaser dynamic, and sometimes they switch off. And we have free will, so you can choose, you know, I want something easier than this. I don't necessarily want that chaotic of an evolutionary path with a love connection. Maybe I do just want to find another soulmate connection to where this feels easy and joyous and harmonious. And not that twin flames can't reach that ascension.
It just takes a lot of work.
It just takes a lot of work. So yeah, and I do believe that I am definitely in connection now with a true twin flame connection. It's just we're in disconnect right now. We are definitely in separation, and I think I'm just honoring this time of solitude to continue my growth on my own, and I hope that he's doing the same. And I have faith that the universe will do its thing, and that this red cord is still tethered. You know, the love is still there. I'm certain of it. What about you? Have you experienced soulmate connections? What's your take on it all?
I mean, I know that there are different soulmates for you, like many different soulmates in a lifetime, just because you're different people
Yeah.
throughout a lifetime.
Yeah, we're constantly changing.
Yeah. So, like, that makes sense. And I'll say, as far as I'm aware of, I haven't met a soulmate. There's a possibility.
Like a romantic one.
Yeah, romantic one. I feel like I know of somebody, but I wouldn't. The fact that there's not that assurance, I wouldn't call it that.
Okay.
As far as like twin flames and karmic relationships go, I think I've had just more karmic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more lessons.
Yeah.
A lot more lessons than anything. Twin flame, I don't really know. I don't think so.
Do you believe in it?
Yeah.
Like, do you know the full concept behind it? That it's rather than two separate souls, which are soulmates, which again don't always have to be romantic lovers. The twin flame story is that, you know, maybe in the limbo time in between these reincarnations, or maybe at the start of it all, of the Big Bang, right? That your souls came, or your soul was one. And during this soul contract, we'll call it, to say, okay, well, in this lifetime I need to learn these lessons, that lifetime I'll learn those lessons, so on and so forth. How about, in order to speed up this evolutionary process, we need to split. Like, our one soul knows that it's whole enough to split, to experience these two different timelines and absorb everything on this side, absorb everything on that side. And then when we finally do come back together, it's like just this another atomic burst of evolution that happens, where you guys can bring these life lessons together and help each other's growth expand tenfold. And it goes beyond just, they always say that a twin flame connection is so much more than just a love bond. It's an evolutionary bond for the collective. Like, your love, your type of love, is going to teach and inspire so many others what self-love is, what growth is, what divine timing and connection means. So that's why I was just so drawn to it. And I had just stumbled upon it, you know, one day in all of my studies on YouTube University, or in the books and the tarot cards. I was like, oh, okay, this is what a soulmate is. Oh, wow, I've never heard this term, twin flame. And then when I had met my toxic ex, I was like, wow, I think this is him. And then I was abused for 8 years, on and off. And I was like, that's definitely not a twin flame connection. So, yeah, lessons learned. And then eventually you meet somebody that's just such a kind-hearted soul that you, I don't know, it's just this intuitive knowing of like, wow, I know you on such a deep level that I see myself in you so much that this is crazy. Like, that kind of connection.
I'll say I believe in it. I do believe that because everybody's here for different reasons and different purposes, I don't think that everybody is here for that right now.
I agree.
Like,
I don't think everybody is meant to be a twin flame. I don't believe everybody is meant to have a soulmate connection.
I think you kind of like
life.
take your lifetimes.
Yes.
Like as you go to like learn your things.
Yeah.
But no, I do see that being a thing. And then also for following, what is it? I believe it's Greek mythology. If I have it correctly, when Zeus created humans, he made them with 2 heads, 4 arms, and 4 legs, and then feared that humans would grow too powerful. So he cut them in half and scattered them all over the earth, so that you have to find your other half.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never even knew about this.
Yeah. I'll say
love that.
it needs to be fact checked if I'm
Yes.
remembering correctly that it's Greek mythology and Zeus, but that story is in one of the mythologies.
Wow.
Yeah.
They say that there's 144,000 twin flame connections. So
compared to 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah. And that those particular people, I mean, I guess double that number. Or, yeah, double, because that's like
Yeah,
per
you would
person.
double it if it's connections.
Yes. So those are essentially the, what do you call us? The indigo children, or the
Yeah. It's like
the
indigo
star
children,
seeds,
star seeds.
yes,
Yeah.
that are meant to really expand the consciousness and to teach people what love and gratitude and all of it is, and what we're doing here, right, on this spiritual journey.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's a beautiful ending and a closure to this magical first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed my Pure Presence podcast with my beautiful friend Dahlia here. So stay tuned for another episode, but this one's coming to you guys soon. All right,
Yes.
love you guys.
And give it up for Kat and Pure Presence.
I'll see you guys soon. Bye.